Now when a party that is seen, my tears vibrate. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to blame. Ah, yes you although I'll cry that a shame, my tears vibrate. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to me cry when you say goodbye. Ain't that a shame? Oh, my tears vibrate. Ain't that a shame? You're the one to
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the new and improved podcast. Through the highs and the lows for 4 years running, the podcasts have been here for you, bringing the victories and the defeats, the joys and the sorrows, and we're just getting started. I'm your show producer, Bella, the coordinator of the chaos. And if you want to talk to Scott, you got to get through me. So be nice. And that also includes Eric, who we do have on tonight. So again, you want to talk to Eric, be nice. Here at the podcast, we do it a bit different. We're all about the investment element of crypto, no hype, but rational and objective context of what we're buying and what we're selling. And we strive to be entertaining and informative while we do it. So strap in, fill your glass, and without any further ado, I give you the podcaster himself, the one and only Great Scott. Dazzle me, boy.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, we don't get that many people on Saturday, so I have to assume that you guys are here for my money and not exactly to listen to what I have to say. But you know what? Either way, man, I appreciate you guys dropping by. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day. Me and Bell were chatting this up, and 4 years we've been doing this. 4 years we've been out here broadcasting, getting 100 views on a video. Don't get sponsored, none of that stuff. But for 4 years we've been still bringing this stuff, man. 3 live streams a week, audience participation. For God's sakes, we allow calling guests, radio style, because we're old radio people. And yeah, I mean, it's just funny. We go looking back at that and say, man, that's a huge time commitment that we put into this. So if I have to pay people to get them here, I'm going to pay people to get them here. I just think I just think that it's a lot of fun. Belle, have you enjoyed the last 4 years, or has this been a little bit much?
There are times that it's been a little bit much, but I wouldn't say that I'd change anything, because I have overall enjoyed it.
Overall, that's what we're going for here, guys, is a little bit of a balance of joy. So yes, we will be giving away what was worth $4,000 of Jackal. I know that's why you guys are here. And what you're going to be looking for when we're going to be doing the giveaway, because we're doing it radio style. We actually entertained it, because that's a pretty big giveaway, and it's my money. All right, Jackal's not pouring anything over here. This is my money. It's my way of giving back to the community. But we had entertained. Should we just do it as 2 giveaways of $2,000 instead of a single giveaway at $4,000? And I was going to leave that up to the audience, but then I was like, it's my money. I can do whatever hell I want with it. So it was worth $4,000. Now it's worth about 10% less of that, guys. It's going to be 12,500 Jackal tokens, and if you do the math at 32 cents, where we were going to do the giveaway, it is worth $4,000 at that very moment. Now it's worth a little bit less. If this is going to cause you heartache, don't call in. That's it. I mean, if this is going to be too much for you, the first one we gave away at when it was at 8 cents, and it was about 9.5 when we finally got around to doing the giveaway. So somebody made a little bit extra. The second one was right around 16, so they kind of nailed it. This one's going to be at 32, so it's going to be wonderful. And I guess our next one's going to be at 64 cents. If it ever hits 64 cents, we'll give away $8,000. It won't. It'll be the same 12,500 Jackal tokens that we've been giving away. But just want to put that out there. So tell your friends, tell your family, buy Jackal, get it to 64. I'll give away $8,000. I have no problem doing that. It's getting a little bit hectic out there. I went to the tweeter before the show, and all it is Newt and Wawa. That's it. That's all everybody's talking about, is the Newt and the Wawa. So rationality, objectivity, all of that good stuff is went completely out the window because the markets are hot. Now, it's fun because we see this every now and again. We saw it last time. Last time the markets were hot, it was this stuff, just meme coins popping off left and right, everybody going nuts. They're starting to step over themselves, and personally for me, I love it. I absolutely adore it. Watching one meme shiller that's trying to one up another meme shiller. You guys understand what a meme coin is, right? Its only purpose is to be bought and sold. That's it. It has no purpose to itself. It's neat. It's fun. If you're into that world, get in there, play around, have some fun with it and stuff, but understand what you're buying, all right? It is not, this is the absolute worst element of crypto, the rock bottom, the bottom feeding, shooting up in the dark, drippy alley of shooting up hopium. That's what meme coins are. But I'm not saying they're not fun. I'm just saying it's a complete casino, a complete gamble. Now, it's not a whole hell of a lot different than a lot of these other tokens. It isn't. It's just not something that I dabble in. All right, guys, I'm all about decentralized physical internet. That's where the bulk of my money is. That's what we're giving away tonight, decentralized physical internet tokens, because that's where the money shot's going to be. Not this year, even though it's performed admirably, but a year or two. Let this stuff really flesh out, all right? Depend takes a while. It's infrastructure, all right? It doesn't just pop off. It doesn't do what Newt did. It doesn't do what Wawa is doing. It doesn't do any of those things because they're use case tokens. And these are physical infrastructure elements. Those are servers, those are providers, those are all the stuff that it takes to make that go, and it takes a while to get there. So I have no problem with it. I have no problem waiting. I made plenty of money on Jackal. I'll make a hell of a lot more. It's still critically undervalued. But just be aware of this right now because we're getting back into the casino mode, all right? Money's coming in. People are loosening up. They're trying silly stuff, and that includes Wawa. That includes Newt. It includes the 10 new meme coins that you're going to see over the next couple of weeks. This is crypto. This is what it is. So anyway, guys, when we're gonna get to do the when we get to the giveaway, you're gonna be looking for something right here. If you look straight above my head, you're gonna see that you're gonna be calling in to 515-523-6995. Once again, that is 515-523-6995. I'm not trying to exclude international callers, even though international people exclude Americans from airdrops. Ha ha! Look at there. There you go. Watch. Here's it.
How you are. You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That's where we're at on this one. So I'm turning this off when you see it go live. That's when it starts. And we'll go with caller number 6. Caller number 6. This is as random as we can do it. Caller number 6 to 515-523-6995. Next time you see that go up is gonna win 12,500 Jackal tokens, whatever they happen to be worth at the time that I transfer them from my wallet to your wallet, which I'll do right after the show. So anyway, guys, look, that's it. That's my whole monologue on here, man. I'm still preaching temperance. This will be the part that finishes off the show, the podcast, completely, because everybody is back on the meme train, on the hype train, with just very, very fast capital going from point A to point B to point C. I don't do that. We never broadcast about any of that. So the people that you haven't heard of during the entire bear market, you're going to be hearing from them just aggressively. And that's probably the thing that'll finish off the podcast. But you know what? We had a great run. So with that and no further ado, Eric, why don't you pop on here, sir, and sum up exactly what happened with your prop and exactly what went, give me the postmortem, man. What was going on? Go.
Yeah, so thank you guys for turning up, voting for Prop 33. Obviously, we went up to Archway on chain, and we're like, hey, guys, give us a bunch of Arch. Let us use it as POL, which means that it's owned by Astrovault, used for liquidity, helps us do a whole bunch of cool stuff with it, and we'll have the Archway community own a whole bunch of AXV. So the Archway community is the Astrovault community, which owns the funds. We all grow together. Yay, woot. Honestly, was a really easy yes, and it got shut down. I think like almost 800 people voted yes, like 50 something voted no, and the no's won over because they had a whole bunch of voting power. Didn't understand it. I don't know. Honestly, it was a really easy yes, so it's been frustrating, but oh well, we're figuring out how to pack up and roll on, and at this point, we're pretty darn frustrated, and we're going to stand by our community, which is the people that used it. If you guys were counting on an Archway airdrop, you'll get one if you were on Archway using Astrovault. Other stakers who want an airdrop, like if you're staking Jackal, you're in. So it's been a bit weird. It was a lot of the core team, honestly, opposing it, which is unfortunate. I think a lot of them still don't understand what Astrovault is, how it develops, how it grows, how it scales, and at that, what Archway is, how it grows, how it scales. But that's okay. Decentralization is going to take time. This would have been a great step in the right direction, but we'll figure it out elsewhere. And realistically, it means that Astrovault is going to end up getting a better deal out of this because I don't think other people understood how generous of a deal this was.
Yeah, and with that, I know you're still kind of beholden to them. You're built on Archway, dude. All right, and I'm sure you still have emails. You guys exchange all that stuff, and you're beholden things you can say, things you can't say. But I'm not beholden to them at all. As a matter of fact, I recently did vote with my wallet, and I sold approximately $58,000 worth of Archway, and I spot sold it. I spot sold it on your decks. Slippage be damned, price impact be damned. I didn't care. I didn't do it aggressively, a couple grand at a time. But it was a huge, monstrous yes is what should have came out of this, but you literally got rear-ended by the core team. Pikachu, big validator. You guys see him everywhere. His whole rationale for no was that the core team and the board does not support this proposal. That was his entire rationale. He's a very high, I'm sure he got a Genesis delegation, and he said, nope, we can't do it. And the reason that he would have voted no is because if he didn't vote no, he would have lost his Genesis delegation as well as all these big, as well as all the top validators. So they were voting purely self-interest, not interest of the chain, even though it would have been better off for them to have less stake that is worth more per token. But they did not. They kissed the ring. They bent the knee, and they said no. And this thing got shut down. And it's kind of a done deal now. Now, my big concern with this, and I know we're not allowed to talk about this, but I'm going to ask you because you're very, very intimate. You don't have to answer any of this. Hang on, I got a cough. I'm still shaking off a cold, guys. I'm sorry. There's a date that's coming up here that is near and dear to my heart, and I'm very, very concerned. And the date is July 3rd. Eric, why would I be concerned about July 3rd, 2024? And I'm sure you can answer this question. Why am I concerned?
That is the 1-year anniversary of the Archway Genesis, which, yes, means that is a pretty significant cliff for the circulating supply.
What does that mean, Eric? Explain that. Go full screen and explain why this is a big deal.
So I'm a huge fan of never judging things based on market cap and judging things based on fully diluted valuation instead. I've seen a lot of influencers be like, oh my goodness, like Archway has a $6 million market cap. That's very misleading. It has, at this point, like a $170 million valuation. And the difference between them is what you count as the supply. Like the 1 billion plus tokens do exist. Just like, oh, well, they're locked up. They're vested. Well, about 1/3 of them, I think, of like these vested tokens are going to be available starting July 3rd. And at that point, like over time, these core contributors, these investors and whatnot are going to get access to their tokens. And I'm not saying they're all going to dump them. Like they better not. Like they better be interested in the long term. They better be using it towards additional liquidity, which has been struggling, towards additionally like spinning up more decentralized ecosystems in the Archway ecosystem for it to like truly thrive. But fundamentally, the market cap is going to, I don't know, like triple or more on that date, because more tokens that were not circulating will be circulating.
Yeah, and see, but here's my concern. What have they built on Archway? What is part of the Archway ecosystem? What are they funding? Eric, I know you know. It's got to be something, because the only revenue generating app that they had on that is actually Astrovault, to my knowledge. Now, I could be wildly, wildly mistaken. That's why you're on the show. Tell me where I'm missing it, because right now, all of this stuff seems to be, they want to hold on to all of those tokens and as much as that as they can, because come July 3rd, they can start dumping it. Now, I know nobody would ever do that. Nobody would ever, ever, ever dump their own ecosystem tokens. It's unheard of in crypto for somebody to do something like that. But the way I'm seeing it is that they have promised an awful lot of bridges, and they've delivered shit. There is not a single one that's been delivered, and as soon as one shows up, they vote no on it. They vote no on the prop. They said, no, we don't want anything to do with that. We don't want to interact with this. Now, I've seen all people coming up. They've been coming up. Nope. Eric just didn't bargain. He didn't bargain with them in good faith. Eric doesn't have to. Eric wrote the prop. He put the prop up and let people vote. The vast majority of everybody said, yes, that's a good idea. Core team and the big validator said, no, we want nothing to do with this. So there really isn't anything to negotiate here, because it's not like he's asking for money. It's just protocol owned liquidity. So as soon as they get an opportunity to actually build out and start partnering up with the apps that are built on their chain, they said no. So I'm sure you can understand my concern and why I would ask the question, what else do they have over there, Eric? And I know you're familiar with it. What else do they have over there that has even the potential of generating revenue?
Not much.
Not much or nothing.
They have things. They have things that are being built. Like I'm a big fan of Architect, but I know now they're directly competing with them in some way, shape, or form. So I believe Phi Labs is making like a really cool NFT marketplace. I don't really know anything about it, which is a problem. And I've talked to him about it. I'm like, we don't know what you're building. We know that you're building. We know that you have a solid team and that you guys are working hard. We don't know what towards. You got to give us something to hope for. You got to give us some inside information. The apps that I know that are building really need Astrovault to work. Like things that come in like Calc Finance. If we're gonna get something like Levana, I saw Griffin on Twitter and he was like, "Hey, should we jump in and like enter the bid for Mars?" And I'm like, look, for a protocol that uses things like leverage to exist on chain, we have to have significant liquidity on chain. And the only on-chain, like non-layer one DEX that has been able to get significant like liquidity or TVL on-chain so far has been Astroport, and that's because they're owned by the same VCs as the chains that they're on. We are the only model that can outright compete with them. We've seen Juno go through 4 DEXs already that just don't have good models. And fundamentally, I don't think that they had realized that the bidding for Mars ended up being $3 million in cash and funding for their team. So like even if they were going to be willing to compete with those level of bids, Mars still would say no because Astrovault as is doesn't have nearly enough liquidity for them to function. So if we want these like arbitrage bots, if we want these higher level DeFi protocols, these vaults, these automated whatever it is, Telegram bots, all this stuff will be great. But we need a really, really solid liquidity hub on chain. And realistically, Astrovault's the best model. So I don't know. They're doing great with things like Xcall. They're doing great with like integrations with cross-chain, but a lot of this is just like infrastructure that's going to everyone anyways. And while Archway might be leading the way with documentation, while they might eventually have better IBC handling than other groups, they, as far as I know, don't yet. And it's not going to matter unless there's significant on-chain transactions. And we're the way to that.
All right. Well, what's your next step then for Astrovault? Now, I did listen into the Juno. I listened into the interview with Atlas DAO. I usually don't have a go at other commentators, man. You guys have your say, man. But, dude, that was rough. That was just... There was so much wrong with it at so many levels. You know what? We'll come back to that. All right. After the break, we're gonna come back and we can discuss that thing up a little bit because it's just amazing to me that we had Reese Williams on the show. Reese, the savior of Juno, the man who's gonna fix it all. We have Reese Williams on this show, and he's literally sitting there saying Juno is broke. If it wasn't for the recent price action, there would be no more Juno. It would be a meme coin. It would be a meme coin. It costs them $2.5 million annually to run that chain, and it's earning revenue of less than $100,000. That is $2.5 million out, less than $100,000 in. Doesn't take a very business savvy person to realize that this thing is unsustainable. So when you got the guy on there that is saying, yeah, we're screwed, and then you get somebody like Astrovault coming over and saying, hey, we can help with some of your liquidity issues. And then the Juno community, the big mouthpieces for the Juno community are coming out and saying, yeah, but you just think you're right. See, that's the problem. You don't know you're right. You just think you're right. How can you make a decision just basically assuming that you're right? Now, I had a question for that one. How do you make decisions? I mean, honestly, how do you make decisions if you don't know that you're going to be right or think that you're going to be right? How exactly do you make decisions? So it was interesting. All right, guys, we were going to do the giveaway the first time. I'm going to make you guys stick around for another 20 minutes. So we're going to do it at the next break just because I'm kind of having fun. Here we go. And again, we are an unsponsored show. So Bell has to go around and find us very, very interesting sponsors. And they pay us money, and we do live reads. Now, the best part about having guests is being able to let the guests do the live reads. So here we go. Eric's going to do one for you here. This is a brand new product. I'm going to paste this in here, and Eric hasn't seen this before, but Eric's a 100% pro. He's going to be able to muddle through it. After this, we'll take a break. We'll come back, get to your questions, give away some money. It's going to be fun. So, Eric, why don't I actually do that right and find the right thing? 1 second, guys. I got to send him the script. All right. So, Eric, go ahead. Take it away. Tell everybody about the newest sponsor of the podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen of the podcast, have we got a treat for you? Looky here, action figures are fun, highly collectible, fun for you, fun for the family, but there are some major historical events that have been left out of action figure market, and Tom says that has to change. Do you guys know Tom? Of Tom's doggy dentist and Tom's rocket-powered pogo stick? Have you heard of him? Well, maybe you will hear about him now. Tom's historical action figures include the country's major historical events because if we forget, it's like it never happened. Almost like crypto. Now, for his very first offering, Tom brings you the Donner Party action figure. It is just as playable and plastic as a normal action figure, but this one comes disassembled, and it likely has some bite marks on it. But hey, that's just for flavor. Relive the Donner Party experience with the Donner Party action figure. None of the cold, none of the fear, none of the hunger, but all of the fun. All Donner Party action figures parts are interchangeable with other figures, so if you want to build a he-male Donner, you can do it. Stop reading about history and start living it with Tom's Donner Party action figures, and let's put the can-do in the cannibalization. Order now, and we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we're having this conversation, you can see that Jackal is taking more of a shit. There's gonna, it's crypto, man, and we got crazy money going on right now. So your podcast airdrop is going to be worth even a little bit less, but you know what? I'd hold on to it, but it's completely up to you. All right, Belle, questions, comments, concerns, go.
Jack Sparrow, what else is on Archway besides Astrovault? Is it safe to say nothing burger so far, except for lots in the works?
I still really like Architect. There are other apps. I'm sure I'm leaving some out. I know Gelato's building some cool stuff. I love everything that they do. But as far as big things that can really drive sales of block space, I mean, you got to start with DeFi. In order for anything in DeFi, you need a solid spot market, and we are the best model for a spot market.
All right, Vicky Boy SC, seems like Archway don't support Astrovault at all.
Yeah, I need to do better about that. They have given us a lot of support in a lot of different ways. And realistically, they have supported us more than they've supported anybody else. So I do have to give them credit there. Their design team is fantastic. If you like the UI for Astrovault, we had a fully functioning product in January, which was when it was still testnet. Obviously, Archway didn't go live until July, but we weren't it wasn't sexy. And their design team was like, hey, let's just throw this out the window, came back with a new Figma. That's really helpful. That's still a very, very small part of what we built, but that's what the users see. That's what they interact with. So that's helpful. They've been able to bring some Arch liquidity in for others to make deals with and whatnot. That's helpful. The ins and outs of it are kind of confusing, but they're making us be able to work. And that's what we need. Whereas another network that might have more stuff might not give us the focus and dedication. So I got to give credit to them there. Our frustrations mostly stem from the fact that we're unpaid, and that totally sucks. And I understand that that's on us to get deals to come in and whatnot. But it also is frustrating to us that it's our whole the draw to Archway is oh, they're funded, they're on Twitter we got 2 years runway. That's great. But if this is supposed to be the place for devs to get paid, and we know that's built out and that can be the case, we need some help getting to the point until it scales. So we're hoping that things turn around and that things do turn around, work out, because fundamentally they have the best tokenomics of any L1. You'll see people hyping up, yay, Kujira. They said inflation's bad. They must be geniuses at math. It's no, Archway is the L1 that really can scale and capture the value it creates. They definitely could take over. But the chance to do it doesn't mean it's going to happen. In order to make it happen, you need not just Astrovault, but a bunch of really, really good and usable dApps building out there. And that's not going to happen unless we get funding into the ecosystem.
Jack Sparrow, is it possible the Archway founders are supporting another DEX not yet ready for prime time? Asking Scott, don't want Eric to get in trouble.
Is it possible? Dude, anything's possible. I don't know exactly what they're doing with all of that money. Is it possible that they're supporting another deck? Sure. I don't know. It's not like I'm on the calls. That's the thing. I don't know what it takes to get into one of those rooms. I have no idea. I owned an awful lot of the token, and now I don't because I voted with my wallet. Everybody says that. Vote with your wallet. So it did not go the way that I would have liked it to go. And I'm not exactly throwing a tantrum because I bought all this stuff at 4 cents. So I have no problem selling it at 20. But I don't like the direction that they're going. That's just a me thing. I don't like the direction that they're going. I voted with my wallet and we stepped away from it. If they start making better decisions, I'll come back. My capital will come back. Everything will come back. It will be ducky. But until they actually get to that point, I have a little bit of a problem with it. It's not managed the way that I would have managed it. It felt like that vote was very, very corrupted. And there's enough silly stuff going out here in crypto already without trying to corrupt a vote. And I just felt that that's what happened. And it's not really an ecosystem that I want to be a part of. So could they be supporting somebody else? Sure. Are you suggesting that there's shady things in crypto? Yes, there are shady things in crypto. The bulk of crypto is shady things. So could they be? Sure. Are they? Not to my knowledge. I would have no idea. Belle, please carry on.
All right, new type. Eric, are you a fan of Psy? They have heavy backing of VCs, which could be a curse, but with that curse comes great liquidity.
Yeah, I've never talked to the Say team directly. I don't know if that's true or not. I've talked to a lot of people that are close to them, and Archway had even hired several people from the SAY team before they launched, and they were warning like, hey, like we have bad experiences with the team right now. We think that the launch is going to be really, really bad. And so like that set off our alarm bells. Then as they go to launch, all of their top applications all left. And they're like, yeah, we didn't get anything we were promised. And so to me, like the stories that we heard from all of the apps building on them are the same stories that like we felt from the places we built. Like Archway has taken care of us better than what we've heard SAY has done to their teams. Now they raise a ton of money. They have a very fast blockchain. It doesn't seem to be decentralized. If they come and they show us that they take decentralizing business seriously, then we'll absolutely lend them an ear. But until then, like it's not good enough for us to go like work to cash a check. We're not here for the short term. We're here to build something that's going to change the world. And if they have the mindset where they're going to like and I don't mean to say something like too harsh on them, I don't know them, but if they are going to like have the mindset where they're just going to raise a bunch of VC money and slow rug and pay their team and not take care of the people that could make a difference, then that's not something we want to be a part of. We want to be a part of whoever is going to seriously put their life on the line to build out something that matters. The people like Nikita from Dissenter, the people like Patrick and Marston from Jackal. That's who we're going to go to bat for, no matter what, period.
All right, John S., can we build up a block explorer over on Jackal? And can we build up a block explorer over on Jackal and build it up on Jackal?
If you're asking me, I'm not a coder. I have no idea. Who could do it quickly? Probably Reese. Reese Williams is that's or Marston. Marston could probably bang one up. I imagine if there was enough demand, they'd probably make something happen. But or if you're asking me, no, dude. Look, I have my gift to crypto is to take money and to turn it into more money. That's it. As far as coding or build, man, I don't even know what the hell I'm looking at, man. That's not what I do. Eric, I don't know. Could you build up? Could you build it, Eric? It's not like you have time, but if you did, could you?
I don't know if you could have a block explorer that solely ran through Jackal. What you could do is you could take something like Kive, who I know is already working with Jackal. They're basically like a L1 that handles giant archive nodes, fast upsyncs. But you could take that and you could export the data onto Jackal and then make that a data lake and then do some cool stuff from there. I guess I don't really know how or why you do it. A block explorer privately, especially for a public blockchain. Like you wouldn't need to. No.
All right. Yeah.
Go, Bell.
Deep House Nation, I'm sold on Jackal long term, but learned the hard way to start selling green and buying red. Is Jackal in the market overdue for a small pullback?
I still personally, now look, man, I own a lot of Jackal tokens. Clearly, I'm giving away a lot of Jackal tokens. I've been continuing to give away a lot of Jackal tokens because I bought all these Jackal tokens at 2 to 2.5 cents. So sure, I could be generous with my community, but mostly it's for outreach. I want people to actually look at Jackal as product. Now, as product is fantastic. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. True privacy. All right. We don't get that. This is what blockchain is for things like Jackal. That's what it exists for actual true privacy. You use Google Cloud right now, you don't have privacy. I guarantee it. I work at Google. I work at Microsoft. I work at Facebook. And I guarantee you everything that goes up there is visible to anybody up there who wants to see it, all of it. Now, Jackal does it a little bit different. It is absolute true privacy to the point that they can't even see what data is going up there. They do not have the ability. It's encrypted off your machine. It goes to them. It's randomly assigned to a provider with a chain ID and a file ID, and that's it. So none of that actually, none of the baggage that comes with traditional data storage is carried over to Jackal. They're doing it a different way. I think the product is fantastic. Their price point, considering this is hot storage, is absolutely excellent. There is no competitor to them in this space, and I know because every time people keep hitting me all the time. What about Filecoin? What about Site? What about ICE? What about yeah? None of them are hot storage. None of them. Jackal is actually hot storage. If you don't know the difference, you should really Google the difference because it matters. And for the price point that they're offering this, it's just it's through the roof. That's why I believe in the product. I believe in it long term. I own a lot of Jackal tokens. I'm not selling any. I still consider it critically undervalued, but I will say that this is crypto. This is crypto, and crypto goes up, crypto goes down. It's cyclical. It does all that other good stuff. So you have to make your own decision with your own money. I'm not selling, but I'm not telling you what to do with yours, man. I didn't help you earn it. I didn't help you make buys. I'm certainly not going to help you make sells. So there you go, and I hope that answered the question. Belle, please carry on.
Music Man Miracles. Hey, man. Wow. I remember your confidence in the bear when you still DCA'd the Osmo, and I was thinking how brave you were. Anyway, here's your vindication with this amazing comeback.
Oh, no, man. I will take advantage of market conditions. I will. I don't believe in Osmo is the thing, man. They got the brand recognition. That's it. They got name and brand recognition. I still think their tokenomics are flawed. I know for a fact that they are still flawed. They're still offering up and paying out incentives in their own DEX token, which is, being farmed. But I don't really suffer from crypto goldfish memory. And I remember 60 days ago when Osmosis was sitting at 23, because of the fact that it's now up about $1.56, $1.57. I don't know. My ticker's not updating. It doesn't really change my viewpoint of it. It just means that I made a lot of money riding it up. But am I still long? Am I long term on it? No. It's a kind of a flawed system. But you got to keep in mind, man. Look, my job is to make money. Is to take money and turn it into more money. So if I see people through market sentiment or whatever piling into a token, I'm probably going to be there, or I was there just a little bit before you were, and I sell off profits. That's what I do. So all of my money, my big money, my long money is all DPIN. All right, it's Jackal, it's a cash, so forth. But I don't really support any of those DEX tokens. The only one that I would support is probably AXV, but I haven't seen that launch yet. But it's just because I like their model. But no, just because something's up doesn't mean that I've changed my viewpoint on it. It just means that more people are buying it than selling it. So token go up. It's crypto. That's kind of how it is here. So anyway, hope that answered the question. Belle, carry on.
I see you. Will borrowing be available on Astrovault for us degens?
Yes, I don't know when. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but we worked really closely with Amulet Finance, who got an AA grant before we did, and ended up going to Neutron. We were hoping that they'd stay on Archway and that we build out together because our models work really, really well together. At this point, maybe it still works on multiple chains. Maybe it works on the Neutron version. But additionally, I do believe that more lending protocols will come build out on top of Astrovault while we plan on sticking to being a spot market ourselves. And then fundamentally, just to get this out ahead of time before it's asked, we will not support more than one layer of leverage. So while that can happen, we will not personally endorse this. We want to have the safest, most solid grounding spot market that can exist in DeFi. And the more people use leverage, the more efficient it is until it crashes. So use that at your own risk. We really, really want other people to build on top of us. We already have quite a few teams that are in different capacities. But yes, hopefully in 6 to 8 months, we have some lending on top.
Okay. So, Belle, before we carry on, I have my little friend is coming back to visit, and I know you can't see it yet, but you will really, really shortly. So we're going to, what are we going to do here? So we're going to go ahead and tell you about one of our new sponsors, and we are going to open up the phone lines. So caller number 6 at 515-523-6995 is going to win the 12,500 Jackal, which are not worth as much as they were, but it's still, you know what, you could do worse. All right, you could do worse. But why Belle goes on mute and starts taking care of this and answering questions, and Podocasters, let me tell you something here. Bella really went all out into the food distribution channels and found a product that is really, truly ideologically aligned with this channel. And guys, we give you Captain Rogers finger blasters. Look, folks, chicken fingers are not fun, all right? But Captain Rogers finger blasters sure are. Just blast your fingers into our unique sauce containers filled with honey mustard, tangy barbecue, or salt and vinegar. Yummy, yummy. Guys, listen here. Finger blasting is the best. You should try one finger at a time. Just the tip, just until you get a feel for it. Or 2 fingers for the bold. And and then, if everyone is cool with it, 3 fingers all at once. Finger blasting, Eric, is fun with friends, but if your friends aren't around, you can just finger blast yourself. Captain Rogers Chicken Finger Blasters, for those who are really hungry and those that can really take a joke. And don't forget the special podcast coupon code. Finger blast me, Roger, for 15% off from your recurring order. When you finger blast once, you're going to want to do it again and again. Captain Rogers Finger Blasters for the truly unique. And guys, we will be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you. Belle's still on the phone. I don't see anybody up in the winner's queue. So Eric and I will just talk while she gets this sorted out. Eric, so what's next for Astrovault, man?
That's a great question. Honestly, we're looking into it. Again, we were very surprised by the outcome of this prop, even to the point where we were told like they endorsed us taking this to like places like the Cosmos Hub, and then weren't okay with it on their own chain. So this really throws, like, we thought this was an easy W to then go and see to the more contentious chains being elsewhere. Apparently it wasn't. So hopefully we can make a deal, work with the foundation or something. Hopefully enough of the understanding of how our model works as to why this doesn't make sense if we don't own the liquidity that we're airdropping for, that we still are going to pay for. I hope that clicks more. I hope that they reconsider and they do this deal from the foundation where they have more tokens in the grants tranche that could work out with something like this. I'm sure some deal of some kind will take place. We are building out Archway. It is going to succeed. We're going to make darn sure of it. But we need to launch our token. So we're talking to Juno like you were on the Twitter space the other day. I love Reese. He's a breath of fresh air. He moves fast. He responds quickly. That's what our small team of go-getters likes. That being said, like a lot of the community has been in Juno through 4 failed dexes for a reason. They don't know, one, they don't like things that they're not comfortable with, and they're comfortable with what they've had. 2, they don't understand why we're not going to rug them because everything they've had rugged them. And I'm like, don't you guys see that like you're only comfortable with what you know and all you know rugs you? Like, don't you want something different? So I'm trying to break through this wall right now because they've got a brilliant, hardworking community, but like this isn't the first community I've been through where what we're dealing with is a really, really high level complicated tokenomics type stuff. Like, and it's not for everybody, and that's okay. But we are right. And if we're not going to get overwhelming support, we're not going to offer a deal that is so generous that it might not be what's best for our existing users. The reason I think that it would be is when it does catalyze growth, and 2, it helps with distribution in more hands. But if we were to just launch the token and just have the circulating supply be in our community's hands, that could do wonders and get Astrovault itself much, much better deals going forward. So we're still talking about it as a community, as a team, as a community. We want your guys' input, but I'm personally just leaning on screw the other props and let's just launch our token. And then when they're like, whoa, you guys turned down this airdrop, then be like, would you guys like to reconsider at a different valuation?
So kind of holding them hostage here. All right, guys, we do have our winner. If you could stand by, please. We are talking to area code 412. Who do I got here?
Hi, my name's Allison.
Allison. Well, here you get a big round of applause. You win a whole bunch of my money. Who are you? Are you actually on our Discord? Are you an active member of our community? Please say you are.
I'm not on the Discord, no. I actually heard about you through a friend. He's been watching for about 2 years now.
Oh, excellent. Well, guess what? You get to win a whole bunch of my money. Are you a big crypto person, or are you just tuning into?
Really awesome. I've kind of got into crypto a couple years ago, just kind of recently. I actually just graduated college today, so this is like, I guess, my gift to myself, huh?
It depends what you do with it. Now, this is your money. You can do whatever you want. Personally, I recommend you hold on to this. It's been performing splendidly. It'll continue to perform splendidly, but it's your money, Allison. You can do whatever the hell that you want with it. Do us a favor and join the podcast Discord. All right, there's an awful lot of information over there, and people would certainly appreciate it. So I'm going to kick you back down into the queue, and all you're going to have to do here is send me a Jackal wallet address. Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to send me your Jackal wallet address?
Yeah, I'll be able to do that for you.
Okay, yeah, you get me that wallet address. It's 12,500 Jackal tokens are going to show up in there. Congratulations on graduating college. Our gift to you. And everybody, big round of applause for Allison. So there you go, guys. If you were just sticking around for the money's been given away. You don't have to stick around anymore. But we're going to get back to your questions, comments, and concerns. I have one of my wonderful headaches is hitting me right now. I am in a tremendous amount of pain, but we're going to continue to soldier through here. So, Belle, if you could, questions, comments, or concerns.
All right. So I see you dropping the comment of, I worry that when Jackal will be big enough, one of those big companies will buy Jackal and turn it into what they are, centralized with zero privacy. Thoughts?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to answer anything else. I got a blinding pain in my head. I feel like I'm about to die. So why don't we pivot that question over to Eric? And Eric, go ahead and answer it, because every word I say is pain.
I got you, brother. Sorry, man. Yeah, so what's beautiful about Jackal is they can't really do that. I mean, they could fork it, they could try it themselves, but that's what's beautiful about decentralized business. They can't just buy it out. They cannot have complete ownership of something, because I'm still going to be providing storage on the Jackal layer. There's nothing they can do about that. If they come and they kill me, like I've already uploaded to other places where other people can go and download and start running Jackal. Jackal exists. Oh, well, too bad. So, yeah, they can't get rid of the privacy. They can't hack in. The Jackal team doesn't have ownership of it. They'd have to take every single node in all of existence, and they wouldn't really have a way of tracking that down. And then somebody could just spin up another one. It's like the idea of like what happens when governments shut down Bitcoin. It's like they can't blow up the world, and there's a miner on the moon. It's still going to be working. Bitcoin still exists. That's what's beautiful.
All right. This one's actually directed to Scott from JJG. Personal question for Scott. You seem to have whale level crypto status. Did you have humble beginnings, or did you start with a bucket of money in your trading career?
Humble beginnings. I'm sorry, guys. I can't even put the headphones on, man. This is murder right now. Humble beginnings. I've been trading for about 25 years in effectively every market that there is. And, it's a journey. You got to learn the journey. And I understand that crypto seems to be very, very unique. It's not. All crypto is a much faster carryover of what's been happening in markets as long as markets have existed. So you get smarter. You spend a lot of time over here. You make some bad decisions. I lost over $1.2 million. I lost that in about a day and a half in the .com bust. So I've been around this for a long, long time. And I'll tell you what, man, discipline, diversification. If there's anything I could give you on that is, if nothing else, have a plan. If you're trading crypto over here and you don't have a plan, it's just a matter of time. You're going to get smoked. It is what it is. And as the narrative is starting to change back to meme coins, that's even faster, even more aggressive. A lot of people are going to get wiped out in this stuff. But you know what? If they learn a lesson coming out of it, then you know what? They'll be better next time. And I have to turn that off. The phone lines, the giveaways already happened, guys. If you're just sticking around for that, that's all over. Anyway, I hope that answered the question. I literally can't talk anymore. So please, Belle, fix this. Go.
All right. Rick 2885 dropping kind of a sarcastic comment. No mention of amp pumping, huh?
I'll take this for Scott. Yeah, I haven't seen amps pump, but I know Cosmos is going absolutely insane right now. A lot of Web3 is. So right now it's mostly about Cosmos. We've been tracking the Jackal stuff. A lot of the tokens on Astrovault, we've been enjoying our POL shoot up to like over 230K, our buyback and burn up to like 19, 20K. Getting week over week, higher volume, still tiny potatoes for the rest of Cosmos. But yeah, let's get AMP on Astrovault so we can talk about both.
All right. So, Oriju 101. In the case of Osmosis, do you think it's fair to see the DEX as a loss leader for native primitives such as a money market, Umi, and the native perps they're building?
I don't. It's a great question, Orju. I don't know. So, like my long-term like FUD of Osmosis is like, hey, they don't monetize anything. They had 1.6 billion in TVL and $3 billion in monthly trading volume and earned literally $0 in revenue. That's ridiculous. Like they need to monetize something. Well, they finally have in two ways. One, they got the 0.1% taker fee, as they're calling it, which basically they added an extra 33% to the fees, so now it's 0.3%. But with the amount of volume that they have and traction they have, that is very significant. But two, and more importantly, which took them way too long to figure out, after getting taken down and crashing multiple times, they finally added an EIP 1559 version to monetize their block space. The power of Osmosis is not in their spot decks. The power of Osmosis is in the demand for their block space as they scale out their ecosystem. While they can't compete with Astrovault, they can compete with Archway, and they can kind of do both. And it takes Archway and Astrovault working together with a better model of an L1 and a better model of a DEX to really be able to beat them. And that's not going to happen unless we gain significant traction. We'll see, but I'm most bullish on Osmosis as a layer one directly. I think, or I hope at least longer term, that people are upset by the really high trading fees, the APRs not working, the routing not working. Fundamentally, like it's not doing great, but the demand for the block space, the significant volume by still maintaining so much market share, they're actually just earning a crap ton of revenue right now. So good on them.
Eric, I can't even wear a hat, man. I'm in pain here. Bell's got to go and take care of Allison here, and I can't talk. So if you could talk for about 5 minutes about something you find interesting, and then we'll get back to questions. So just go, dude.
You got it. I'll look through for a couple other questions. Orju, that was a great one. If you guys have any questions for me specifically, go ahead and throw them on. Let's see. The Say Bot Army from Ambido. It's the Say Bot Army that gave you weird vibes. The social media activity that they had was very suspect. You're going to see that in almost every corner of crypto. You're going to see all of these new projects that have 64,000 followers on Twitter. It's dumb. I mean, you look at art, we have 2,000. And we get more engagement than a lot of these groups like that have 40, 60, 120,000. And that's because we refuse to pay for bots. We have 269 members in our Telegram right now, and it's not very active. And recently we had a bunch of bots come in and bring it up to 600. And we went through and we got rid of every single one of them. We don't care about faking it. We only care about making it and doing things properly. A big difference between me and our team compared to most people in general, let alone most crypto projects, is most crypto projects will take a utilitarian approach and be like, oh, well, like it's fine if we just do this and this because that's going to lead to this, and that's really what we want. And once we have this, then we can make everything better. And that's using the ends to justify the means. And that breaks everything that I believe in from a philosophical perspective, where I'm Kantian instead of utilitarian, because that level of utilitarianism screws over people for the purpose of something better. With that same ideology, you could be like, oh, well, Hitler was a net good for the world because while he killed millions of people, he led to such like advances in medicine that it's actually saved more lives net. So it's actually bettered the populace. Like, no, his actions were evil. It is the actions themselves. And as soon as you enable other people to be ends instead of means, then you're overboarding it. So yes, I just absolutely compared, say, hiring Twitter bots to Hitler. So that's obviously grotesquely out of context, just overstating the point of what's going on. We believe in building decentralization, not faking decentralization and hoping to get there while we siphon in VC money. I agree with you that is how things should be done, and not 60 comments on Twitter all saying the same thing. Say good project, happy, or something. And those bot armies that they hired cost like 10K a month. I'd rather them see 10K a month put towards an actual product.
Go, Bell.
All right, Stephen Douglas, I still don't quite understand Jackal RNS. Patrick or Marston said something about using it for referral rewards. What kind of stuff can the user do with the RNS?
Great question. So a lot of the limitations on Jackal RNS are actually from So if you know the backstory of Jackal and when they're fudded for their blockchain not being great because they had forked an outdated version of Cosmosm and didn't know it, didn't have all the inside Cosmos cartel helping out, like, oh, we're using that one right now, and had no documentation on it. They actually had to gut a lot of the functionality that they had built out for Jackal RNS. Now that they've done a whole bunch of upgrades to the chain, they're bringing a lot of it back. But separately, if you read into the new Jackal tokenomics, I'm a very huge contributor to that. I designed a lot of it, and I'm like, they need to grow their sales. They need to incentivize their growth of sales. They need a decentralized sales department. In order to do that, we need to bake in commission. Well, how are we going to handle commission? And so I said, hey, how about you just use a Jackal RNS as a code? So in order to earn commission on Jackal sales, you have to have a Jackal RNS, and that is going to be the code that enables you to get your commission. So that's one dope use case already for it. But from what I hear, they're going to bring out a lot of other cool things with it. Hope to hear from it. Hope to hear about it more soon.
All right. So, Alex Dowley, you still hold Osmo?
I believe that is to Scott, who I'm assuming is still out right now. And yeah, he does. He uses Osmosis, and he should. Look, I want Astrovault to be able to compete. We're not there. We're not close to there. We're 5 people trying our best unfunded, and we're doing a damn good job. And our model, it can compete, but we don't have the millions and millions of dollars, the huge team, the huge community. We are fighting an uphill battle. We got the valuation to show it, but yeah, he should be using Osmosis. If he wants to be buying a caution and whatnot, that's where he's going to get it.
Deep House Nation, in addition to your regular meetings with Elizabeth Warren, how closely are you watching this developing crypto legislation for roadblocks and/or opportunities for Jackal's product rollout?
Oh man, that's awesome. I'm not Scott, but so my big thing with the legislation, obviously, these people have no idea what they're talking about, and they're rolling out stuff that is over their heads, and we need to completely redo what exists for like security laws, for example. But what I'm really most looking to see if what happens is right now we justify proof of stake tokens for like as non-securities due to the utility that they offer, typically in the form of governance, which is wild that Ethereum doesn't qualify as a security, but that's because, inside money. But if that changes, if all of a sudden some legislation comes out and they're like, hey, the governance power associated with the staking currency is not enough to justify the staking rewards you're earning, we're qualifying those as dividends, this is now a security, then that could absolutely nuke the proof of stake market, and we need to have things that can pivot. We already have pivots in place with Astrovault. I mean, we're not a security. We have more utility with our token than almost anything. But yes, you can stake AXV to earn Jackal. Now we justify that by that's incentives to vote on Jackal governance proposals. But if that eventually is not enough, and we do have to pivot, our plan is to deprecate those staking farm pools. Instead, give those Jackal rewards to the Jackal AXV liquidity providers, and also route that additional governance power to those token providers. At this point now, it's the LP token that is earning these rewards and having the voting power, and none of the revenue, which could eventually be classified as dividends, are going to the token holders directly.
Microman, Eric, will the Archway situation delay the token launch and pull rewards? I have money standing by. Enjoying the decks very much, by the way.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Honestly, in my opinion, it's going to speed it up. It's confusing. We'll see how things go in conversations with the Juno and the Stargaze communities. Obviously, we have backroom conversations with other L1s as well. But honestly, I'm just kind of peeved and just want to throw caution to the wind and just launch and roll out with the 4,607 people that have used our decks. So that's not huge numbers. We'll have low circulating supply. I value you guys who have put the time and effort into learning our model and to using our decks and to giving us a shot more than I value people who are going to talk around, twiddle their thumbs, have no idea what they're talking about, and shit on us for no reason.
John S., did Eric say that the airdrop is going to include Jackal stakers?
Ooh, man. So in our distribution paper, we say that we're going to give 5% of TGE to the users. And then 5% to Arch stakers. If it passed, it didn't. 5% to Jackal staker, to Juno stakers. If it passes, if we put the prop up, we're still undecided on if we really go forward with any of this at this point, or if we just, rush it, burn almost all the tokens and see what happens. Now, if you look at our POL right now, we've got We got dashboard up. We have $214,000 in protocol-owned liquidity. More than half of that is Jackal. We invested in Jackal at the absolute bottom. We put everything we could into bringing it back. Obviously, it was going to happen regardless, but we can't just sit around, twiddle our thumbs, and hope the Jackal resurges. We have to drive it. We have to put the center back on the map because that's how we succeed. And because of their success, we're doing well. And because of their early liquidity and buy-in, a very significant part of the initial airdrop is set to go to the Jackal Foundation. And I talked to a lot of the core team and I was like, look, guys, we're happy to give it to you. You guys deserve it. You guys own it. Great. Or we could just give it to your community members. We would rather have AXV go in more hands. We're going to do right by you guys regardless. You guys have been great to us. We've been longtime fans of them. We're going to do everything we can to make Jackal succeed. It's brilliant. It gives me more hope for this world. They completely agreed and they're like, you know what? Let's do it. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. They said, go ahead and do it. I'm getting really loud call right now. I apologize. Yeah, they went ahead and they said, let's go ahead and let's do it. Let's give AXV to Jackal stakers. So no prop needed. It is part of the 5% airdrop going to the users. And you can thank the Jackal Foundation because that's tokens that they earned for trusting us. And they're giving it to you guys.
All right. I see you. Will Stars start a partnership with Jackal for their NFT market? What other Cosmos project do you think should and could work successfully with Jackal?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Will Stars start a partnership with Jackal for their NFT market? And what other Cosmos project do you think should and could work successfully with Jackal?
So Stargaze already has a partnership with Jackal. Stargaze does, Omniflix does. They're the easiest group to partner with. They really don't have competition like globally, let alone in crypto, let alone in Cosmos. So I think they're well positioned. If anybody doesn't have a partnership with them, they need to get on it. One that I am most looking forward to is like Jackal Dissenter. Maybe as Alter builds out, like I know that Alter will have like limitations on the storage that they're able to do and they're focused on privacy. And I'm still really bullish on the Alter as a communication platform. I believe in private comms. Love Oscar, brilliant dude. So I'd love to see Alter leverage Jackal storage for a lot. I won't ever leverage Jackal, but yeah, Alter and Dissenter would be my top two.
All right. GJ, Eric, when token.
Again, love your guys' feedback. Hop on our Telegram. Tell us, yo, launch it in 2 weeks. Be like, yo, wait another 3 months and get a raise and just give us a larger chunk in an airdrop. You guys let us know what you want. My thoughts are you guys want it right now. I kind of want it right now. Right now means another 3-4 weeks, if not more. But yeah. We push it back plus the holidays. We're pretty ready to launch it. It's just a matter of if we wait to see if other props go through or if we just don't.
All right. Vicky Boy SC, what are your thoughts on Kuji?
So Kuji, the platform, Kuji, the token. I am so bullish on the Kuji community. They're absolutely brilliant. And I'm so glad that they survived the Terra Luna collapse. I've been asked a lot recently, especially by potential investors, like, oh, why didn't you build on Kuji? I love them. I love that they're actually decentralized. I love that they're not part of the Cosmos cartel. However, I disagree with the direction that they're going. And if you know me, like we don't compromise for better or for worse. And many people say for worse, we don't compromise. We do what we think is right and we do it regardless. We don't care about what other people think. We don't care about what people know works. And fundamentally, Kuji is based on the idea that inflation bad. And I don't think that constitutes great tokenomics. That is grotesquely inefficient for what crypto makes possible. I don't think that they fully understand what went wrong with Terra Luna and how they designed USK. And I think it's good enough that it will work, but it's not good enough that they don't necessarily understand why what didn't happen didn't work. And that could lead to similar things happening at some point in the future. It might be 5 years, it might be 10 years. Hopefully it's never. But I'm not going to build somewhere where I don't trust the direction. So love Kuji. I think they're probably going to be one of the top plays in this bull market. You're already seeing it. They're communities to die for. There's not a bunch of additional selling pressure. But yeah, I think that better can be built. I'm going to build it.
All right. So we've got 4 more questions and we're going to do these lightning rounds so we can wrap this. G Torres, what are your thoughts on the Atom token, Eric? Will it get more utility in the Cosmos ecosystem?
Can't get less. I think Atom has a good chance of being the money of Cosmos. I am bullish on more chains opting to use it as a gas token. If we build on Neutron the way like the Astrovault model works, like sure, we can launch the Neutron token. We will not launch an X Neutron, which means that we don't monetize the Neutron liquidity directly. We would rather have tokens paired with Atom, where it's earning more for us, and then we could just use Atom as gas. Neutron will make money from its utility. Great. But if we could interoperate our whole like cross-chain DEX that is working, functioning under the same UI, and all of the users could just pay all of the gas tokens with Atom, that would make everything so much easier. And that would drive up a significant amount of demand for Atom as many more protocols choose to launch. So hopefully it goes beyond that. I still want to see IBC handled like in general in a direction that makes more sense. The way it's being built out right now is illogical. There will be significant barriers to adoption that they haven't run into yet. There will be more, hopefully not catastrophic failures from the direction that's being headed. And if we were to route things through the hub with IBC, it could really shore up some economic security issues.
All right, JJG, Eric, you're a cool dude. How's the vulnerability for hacks on Astrovault? If Ledger can get hacked, wouldn't it make it much easier to infiltrate a small DEX?
Thank you so much for the comment. You'll have to bring that one to my CTO. Again, I'm just a talking head that does spreadsheets and writes papers every now and then. I know that our dev team is really good and have blown away a lot of the people that have been in looking at our stuff. What we built is super complicated. So we intend to get many eyes. We intend to get many audits and do a lot of checking on things because, we're not forked. We did build things ourselves. We do things differently. But we test things very rigorously. I do help design a lot of the tests that go through, and everything stands up really well. So I'm optimistic, and whenever you're doing anything in DeFi, be careful. I saw a graph the other day on Twitter. It's like the entire new financial ecosystem and like one little peg holding it up, and it's like Ledger Connect. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to trust what you're built on. Understand your axioms. What happens if Atom and Arch go to zero? Then it doesn't matter how much Atom and Arch Astrovault earned. Our treasury is worth a whole lot less. So be careful. Don't risk what you can't afford to lose. And I hope that this all works out and we build something that changes the world.
All right, Code Serial. Yay, I'm a Jackal staker. Was there a snapshot for the AXV airdrop, or is this something to be determined by Jackal?
This is something to be determined by Jackal. I don't officially know if it is fully done. Yeah, we might say like, oh yeah, we want you guys to control this. Realistically, we're like, hey, that's one less thing for us to do. You guys give us the data. You guys are the ones that earn the AXV. So yeah, thank them. They're going to handle the snapshot. We will handle the distribution. The claim for the airdrop will take place on Archway. So we'll see if we can get a fee grant set up for that. But if you haven't used Archway yet, now you need to. So yeah, we're going to bring more people in. We're going to make this ecosystem work. We're still committed. And we are the jewel of the Archway ecosystem right now. That's going to continue. I know this prop barely failed. Some kind of deal is going to work. I know I come up here and I seem frustrated. They're frustrated too. I'm a difficult person to work with. Our team's difficult people to work with. But we demand excellence. We're doing everything we can. There's a lot more we need to do. They're doing everything they can. There's a lot more they need to do. Winning isn't easy, but we're going to work together. We're going to make it happen.
Last question for the evening coming in from Jack Sparrow. Eric, how do I add tokens to Astrovault? Everything else is intuitive, but not adding tokens. I may be slow, but that means others are as well.
Thank you. That's exactly the feedback we need. So yes, right now, I don't know if it's been fully fixed by Leap yet, if you're using Leap, which you should be, but it is working on Kepler and Cosmos Station. If you're on our dashboard, in the My Assets section at the top right of it, there's 3 dots and there's an X. Click the 3 dots and a little memo comes up. The bottom of it, it says add tokens to wallet. Click that. It'll show a list of all of our X tokens as well as AMP Arch and S Arch. Basically any WASM like contract we can have. You click that, it'll automatically open up your wallet and you can add token to wallet. Again, unless it's not currently working with Leap, which is something we troubleshot in our Discord yesterday.
Right, and that was the last question for the evening.
Guys, thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. Scott, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well, man. Heck of a day to go down, but you went down swinging. I'd be sick too if I just gave away $4,000 worth of Jackal. Congratulations to Allison, but I'll let you do your thing.
All right. And I think instead of Scott torturing himself and putting the headphones on, I think he is going to probably have me close this out. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of you who did join in and actually stuck around through the end of the show and kept throwing out fantastic comments and questions, we cannot say thank you guys enough. We are planning on being back on Tuesday at our normal time of 6 p.m. Central Standard. In between now and then, if you guys have any more comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to shoot Scott or myself an email, Scott at ThePodocasts.com, or Eric. Wow. Yeah, Eric, you really need to put your email address out too, in case any more people have questions regarding Astrovault specifically. Or if you've got any more questions for Eric, jump on our Discord and you can tag him and ask him directly. As far as questions for the podcast go, definitely don't hesitate to email Scott or myself, Scott at ThePodcast.com or Bella at ThePodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you guys enough, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at The Podocasts. Also, visit our page at ThePodocasts.com, all one word, for all of